Welcome back to a Sutter podcast. I'm your host, Victor, along with my co-host, Mark. Mark, how you doing on this fine and beautiful Sunday?
Doing great. I'm doing good. I'm alive, and that's great.
That's all that matters, honestly.
Yes.
When you think about it, the grand scheme of things, what else really matters? Just another day that the Lord gave us.
True, yeah. And all I'm thinking is you just say, "What's going on, guys?" And then I'm just not even here. But yeah, you have another camera set. And like, just I'm saying because like I'm glad to be alive. And just not, and it's just like, what's going on, guys? But yeah, you still have the camera, and it just switches to me.
And I'm still talking like you're still here.
Yeah, it's just like,
crazy.
where's Mark?
It's like Victor's really struggling. He's coping.
Yeah, he's
not
coping,
doing very
right,
well.
Yeah. But yeah, how are you doing?
I'm doing good, man. Can't complain. Life is
Awesome.
good.
Awesome.
The sun was up past 5:30 today, which was great to see. I was driving over here, and I was like, it's not pitch black.
It starts to do that. I notice on my drives home sometimes getting off of work, and I'm just like, okay, I'm getting home.
You're being blinded.
And it's not true because usually the sun be hitting you right when you're on like 76 or something like that. And it's just like at the worst time. But no, yeah, I'll get home and I'm like, okay, there's still some sunlight out. I can obviously it's like
it's not pitch black.
But once I get inside, if like the next 20 minutes goes by, I notice I'm like, okay, it's dark. So it's like it's getting better though.
It's a sign though. We had like 2 days where it was like springy.
Yeah.
And that was
good.
cold.
It was like 50. Yeah, today was actually really bad in the sense of like you'll be outside for more than like 10 minutes, you're just like hands are freezing. I'm just like, I need to get inside.
Yeah, I had like two or 3 days where I was like, oh, like Zoe trying to go for a walk. When it was nice out, we did those walks, and then yesterday and the day before that I tried, and we went out. She went to the bathroom, was like, we're going back inside, dude. Like I'm not doing this.
She's like she sees you open the door, and she's just like, why does he keep doing this?
Yeah, I could tell the vibes off. Like if she sees like her leash, she's immediately like bet, and she runs to the door. But like if she knows it's cold out, she's like,
oh, I thought when I went to sleep and woke up, it would be completely.
Don't be mad. I'm just not feeling it today.
I know this is like what we're dogs supposed to do, but this is just
nah.
I'm not feeling it.
Just let me go out back.
Yeah, let me just go to the back. Let me just sniff a few things, and
I'll be right back.
Yeah,
it's easy. But
yeah.
So we took advantage of those few days. I'll wait till it warms up again to do it again because honestly, like I wasn't trying to be out there either because she sniffs like every blade of grass that exists, and then it's cold, and I'm like, yo, we gotta wrap this up.
So funny you say that is because this weekend I was actually dog sitting for some friends from church, and I didn't walk him, like actually walk him outside. They have a backyard, so like I'll let him out back, but yeah, today I actually ended up doing it. Obviously not the best compared to the last other couple days, but no, yeah, I feel like, dang, it does suck when you like have a dog and you're going down the block and there's just a bunch of poles because it's like they're bound to want to sniff every single one of them, no matter what it is. And I'm just like, dang, if this block had like 30 poles, I would be here for a while.
Exactly, and that's how it is with like patches of grass out my way, and it's like the wind is whipping and she just does not care. I'm like, yo, like. We're literally just going around the block right now, and you're making this like an hour-long thing.
Sure, yeah. But dogs, I mean, that's like their social media. So they're just like, yeah, I gotta sniff everything. I gotta know what was going on last week. If Becky, was talking to Dylan,
who shit here, who pissed here, I need to know about it.
I need to know about this.
But yeah, that in our lives, everything's cool. In the world, though, it's a little crazy.
Yeah.
I had a bunch of stuff to rattle off. I'm gonna say some. Whatever one sticks out the most to you is what we're going to talk about this week, all right?
Gotcha.
So just yesterday, we had the leader of Ukraine come to the White House. I don't know if you saw that. He was in the White House with Trump and JD, and they were just basically just being assholes to him, and the whole world hates us right now, even more so than they already did. I don't know if you saw the footage of that.
No,
but
wow.
It was just very annoying. A FedEx plane caught fire yesterday or the day before. It was in Newark, New Jersey.
Great.
The engine caught fire and one of the wings as they were going down. They landed safely, but it was because a bird flew into it, so it wasn't like anything like malfunction. It was just a thing of chance.
It just so happens.
But I've seen 2 flaming planes fall out of the sky this year, and that's more than I've seen in my entire life.
Exactly.
Actually, after we had the conversation, right? I was like, how I mentioned to you, I was like, is it more so like this is happening more often, or is it being reported on more? And like I did my research on that. Turns out it's happening a lot more than like it's supposed to. People are arguing like, oh, they're trying to scare you. They're trying to make sure you don't leave the country. The last commercial flight that crashed was in 2008 or 9.
Wow. I mean,
They're like almost 20 years ago, 15 years ago, if anything. And then, but like in terms of like the smaller private planes, it's like pretty consistent. But like we had three commercial planes already this year. Yeah. That like crashed or something along those lines, crazy like that. So there is a commercial plane kind of issue thing, because we went from having one every 15 years to
now it just seems like
we are 2 1/3 months, or not even 2 and a couple days into 2025, and we've had like 2 or 3. Not even the entirety, because whenever he got inaugurated, was it the 20th?
All of a sudden, yeah.
So that's like that's like a month and a half.
Yeah, a month and a half. Yeah.
Out of the 2 and some like, change.
What's going on, you know?
But yeah, so I looked into it and I was like, am I tripping? Because I went to book a flight and I was like, am I really bugging? Then I found out that like I'm not bugging. Yeah. And I was like, I'm gonna hold off. I said road trips or cruises for me right now.
Sure, yeah. In a car or on a boat.
Yeah.
Planes, we're staying away.
We also have the release of the SHREK 5 trailer, which I'm sure that you really want to talk about and say your opinions on.
Yeah, when I was sending it to you and we were going back and forth, the only thing I thought of was just like, yeah, I need to like talk about this on the podcast. So I was like, so let me not say too much, but I was literally like, in the sense when I was texting, I was like actually getting so passionate about it. I was just like, bro, like I just don't understand.
You're like, why'd they change the animation? Like, why would they ruin this? This is a disgrace. Like, Michael Myers will not stand for this.
Like I'm over talking like I'm a CEO of it, and I'm just like, there's no reason. Why did they go above my authority?
Why did they not ask me first?
Yeah, like come on, what's up with them?
But that, as well as, I don't know if you saw, they had the SAG-AFTRA awards, which I
heard it. I've seen a lot of stuff just about people who like won and stuff like that.
And there's discussions around Timothy Chalamet and his speech, and people are saying it's mad corny or whatever.
I thought I heard a lot of people saying it was, I guess, good. I don't know.
It was a mix. I thought it was great, but then I saw people were like, this was cocky. Like, why would he say such a thing? But that, and then also, which is funny, kind of Trump. He didn't like, it's not like an official thing, but he came out, he was like, what if we basically like sell, on Twitter they were calling it like the US Battle Pass, but Trump was like, what if we made like 1,000 passes that you could sell for $5 million and sell it to like people who are rich in other countries that want to be US citizens and like immigrate over. So he was like, if we sell like 1,000 of them for $5 million, then that's like whatever. Like he was like, it's like we'll pay off our debt if we do that. And he was like, it would just basically give them a fast track to become U.S. citizens. So it was just like, all right, cool. So you don't like people like that are less fortunate doing it.
Yes.
But if it's a rich person
who got money,
then it's like, all right, bet. Like we want to.
Literally, that's the first thing came out. I'm like, so. Other people who are trying their hardest to get in this country and be citizens,
who can barely make ends meet as it is in general, like just.
But even on top of that, when they come in here, they really do try and like work their hardest. They try to like work and get like, whether if it's like manual labor, whatever the case is, they really are trying. You're just like, no.
Yeah.
Like they keeping their heads down, minding their business. You're like, no. But somebody who's not even paying attention,
raiding car washes and like people's jobs and homes and schools and shit. Yeah. To send them back home.
But somebody who's literally just like probably sitting on a couch having someone feed them grapes. You're just like, yeah, let's have them come over here, because for whatever reason they need to come over here when they got all the money they need over there. I don't get it.
Like he was just on mic, like freestyle, and it's like, yo, you're not supposed to do that. Like you should probably like shut up. Like obviously, like everybody has their ideas or whatever, but that was like such a like drunk conversation or like high conversation. Like, yo, bro, imagine if we just like sold, like imagine how much money we'd make, bro.
Yeah,
like that was like the
it got me in like the first like third of it, which was just like it'd be interesting to see if like, because in my head I thought it was going to be like something just in the US space, and then you said, oh yeah, we sell to other people in other countries that are immigrants or whatever. And then I was just like, okay, now you lost.
Which like if they have that kind of money in the first place to just throw $5 million out like that, they probably are okay where they're at. Like people come to the US because where they're currently at sucks and they want to have better opportunity. So if they're rich, they're probably not going to want to that bad to come to the U.S., especially not right now.
That's what I'm saying. And like, what's the point?
The second part of that is also, if they have that kind of money and connection, they probably don't have to spend $5 million to do that. Like they have the right connections to just do that without spending $5 million. So yeah, I don't get that. But which I thought was like, yo, hold up, you kind of got me. Somebody was like, they should do it where already current U.S. citizens can sell their citizenship for $5 million. And I was like, yo, if you want to make money for real,
that's actually crazy.
Yo, like, you could find me somewhere else in a second.
$5 million, you could definitely just set a whole new life and go somewhere else.
Bro, could you imagine? You could literally like pick the country that accepts you.
Yeah.
And with $5 million, imagine the start you could have, and just bro, this is like, oh my goodness.
Start a business, because again, like depending on where you go, like your currency, it can be a lot worth more. So yeah, you just have so much extra.
Chilling, bro.
Yeah, wow. That'll be pretty interesting. But you know they won't.
They would never. they bro, we would finish the national debt in like a month, bro. Yeah. Like the phones would be, they already fired a bunch of federal workers. The phones would be off the hook with the amount of people trying to do that, bro.
Yeah.
That'd be 100%. Insane.
That's insane, yeah.
That's why I love the internet. It's like such a better idea than what it.
Yeah, the internet comes up with 10 times more better ideas than what somebody on there like originally has. Yeah. Like they fix it instantly.
What would be wild though, which like I know it would never actually happen. I mean, I'm not gonna say never because who knows. But if there was like a limited number of like citizenship papers, then it would kind of like change shit up.
What do you mean?
Because like if you could technically sell your citizenship to somebody else who wants it, then at that point, like if you made it a finite thing, then the money of it will kind of like fluctuate. Yeah, you know what I mean?
That's true.
So like if there was only like, I don't know what the exact number of like people in the U.S. are right now that are like registered citizens, but say if it's like, I'm just throwing a number out, but like 100 million passes of citizenship, then what happens if there's not enough? Somebody's born, then what happens? You got to buy it from somebody else. You got Hunger Games it.
Yeah,
and Trump might, Trump gonna go crazy.
He actually will probably go
that's
for
what I'm saying. Like,
you say gladiator now.
Yeah,
we're gonna have people in the ring.
So that's kind of like where I was like, that'd be a crazy ass concept, but yeah, it was not like I'm not gonna trash him for because it's not an official thing. Like, but the fact that he just went on the mic and was like, yeah, like what if guys?
What if, right? He was saying it because he was hoping if somebody, like some Shark Tank type of thing. Like, what if somebody?
Mark Cuban's like, whoa,
yeah, he's onto something. I take it, yeah, just throw it in, man.
5% share, 20 million.
You got it.
Who says no? But yeah, so those are all the ones that I had ideas for. I know we should probably touch SHREK first. Pause. Touch on the SHREK topic first.
Yeah, man. SHREK 5. I was having this conversation with Emily, and I was just like, when I heard SHREK 5, I was like, first of all, you already got me interested. 100% I'm interested. So I was like, cool. And I was like, I think I first saw it because I saw a post about like Zendaya. Yeah, I saw her face on it, and I was like, SHREK 5, and I was like, hold up, wait, SHREK 5, and like I didn't even realize at first there was a SHREK 5 coming out. So I'm like, oh snap!
Oh, yeah, they had announced it like a year ago.
Dude, I might have saw it, but I just brushed over it. But yeah, so it piqued my interest, and then immediately saw the animation, and I was just like, what the hell is this, bro? I was just like, bro, this is insane. I'm like, where did you guys go wrong with it?
Before you proceed, how do you feel? Because somebody brought this up because they did change it. How did you feel about the animation for Puss in Boots?
So yeah, the animation for Puss in Boots, I'm not gonna lie, I also didn't like that at first either, because it also was like giving me like, okay, you guys are trying to fit into something where it's like, you guys don't need to. Like, you have the formula, you have the blueprint. Like, your animation, in the way I see it, and the way I feel like I understand why they're trying to switch it up, is because, don't get me wrong, back then our animation, like, yeah, you had regular cartoons, people who were outlined, that was that. But then when you started to get into this really like, futuristic, I guess, 3D-ish type of like, animation, like SHREK was just something that was different, but it just seemed very just like plain. It was like, it wasn't anything that was popping out crazy. Because nowadays you see things where it's like very colorful, very vibrant, very just like. I
think that's where that came from, because like it was more realistic. Not in the sense where like SHREK, the original SHREK looked real, but like the colors weren't oversaturated, where it was like super like.
It seemed like it was just bright, natural in a sense. So like that's where I'm like,
it was swampy.
Yeah, that's where I'm like, you guys have it. and it's like I get it. It's not like all these other ones where it's like vibrant stuff is popping out at you, but like that's what made it original, unique. And like I don't know. Like, I'm not saying they're a sellout. It's just
it's just trying to like be eye catching and like because like my sister brought it up. I had told you it was like I think I told you where I was like I feel like it looks like almost like Moana or some shit like that. My sister was like, it looks like the Croods, and I don't know if you know what the Croods is. It's like that caveman movie.
Caveman one.
Looks like them. So I was like, yeah, like it's kind of like that animation where it's like more fitting to now. But then I forget. I think Toy Story 4 or 5, whatever one with the spoon is in, it looks the exact same as they did from the beginning. Polished. It's just more polished as compared to the. So that's all they had to do with this new one.
That's what I was saying. I'm like, even if you just make it a little bit more cleaner, you know, fix up, because like I get it. Like at this point, like you're in 2025. Like I know y'all have more stuff to make it look neater and like cleaner. So I'm like, if you want to do that, by all means, go ahead. But don't switch it up completely. Where I'm looking at Shrek and I'm like, bro, did he get like? Is this his cousin?
Yeah, somebody.
Is it Shrek?
Somebody took a screenshot of Donkey, and was like, "Why is it like Cassinet, the new Donkey?" That's so drawn.
Yeah, that's drawn. Okay, yeah.
I looked at the picture of the cast. I was like, it looks like they all got on Ozempic. That's what it looks like to me.
Yeah, it looks completely different.
They like. Somebody edited it and like they was like, yo, it's literally just the eyes. Like somebody the one that we saw in the trailer, their eyes are close, like Shrek's eyes are closer. Somebody moved this space down and it looked like Shrek.
Like so regular Shrek?
Almost, like close enough. It's still obviously like the colors and everything was different. But
I don't think it was like a crazy, I don't know, it was like a video or something, but somebody was like kind of like side by side comparing it, and it was like showing like the original like picture of Shrek, I guess like from like the movie poster, and then like that picture from the trailer, and they were just pointing out on all the little things of just like how they were like they cut off a bit from his chin, just like, you know, like shaved it down,
just basically just gave him freaking
eyebrows,
plastic surgery,
like nose looked different, all that. I was just like, why did y'all like? What are y'all trying to do to him? Like he's an ogre. Like why are y'all trying to make him look like he's a freaking movie star?
What I will say though, off of when you first sent me that post and I watched it, first I thought it was AI.
Yeah.
But
that's why I was hoping during that whole trailer it was just gonna be like a psych or something like nothing like real.
But what was my initial thought after seeing it? Like one, I didn't like it to start. I was like, but I'm gonna go see it regardless. Like we're complaining. You're gonna boycott the movie now,
bro. We gotta bully them like Sonic, man.
Bro. But if it's out, there's no bullying to do.
But it's not out.
We could bully them now.
2 years. Well,
it's next year.
Next
fall.
year. It's in December 2026.
So like, now if it changes, like that'd be great.
Yeah.
But if December 2026 comes and it comes out, I'm going to see it.
I mean, like there's no I can't.
Like at that point, it's done.
You're right. I can't do anything about it. It's just, do I want to give them their money to the like?
Watch it at home, pirate it.
But that's what I'm saying though. That's what I mean. Like, do I want to? Because the way I see it, it's like when you go to a restaurant, and sometimes depending on how the restaurant works, when you tip a waiter, if you give them cash, it sometimes goes directly to them. In my head, I'm like, if I go to the movies, I feel like I'm giving them directly the cash rather than being at home, and I'm just paying for streaming, so I watch it that way. You know, like that's how I see it in a sense.
True.
So I'm like, do I really want to go to the movies and make them feel good? Like, yeah, you got me. Here you go. I gave in. Or do I want to be like, no, you know, I'm gonna sit at home.
Look, even if like if the animation stays, I just need the writing and the jokes.
True.
Like if the substance of the movie's still good and the same and like up to par, you know what? Maybe I'll look past it. Cause like the trailer jokes was like they show like all the TikTok or like the memes of Shrek, and I was like, that's on point with like what they've done in the past. So I'm like, you know what?
True, yeah, because I remember somebody was talking about like the guy was doing a video saying like how people are pointing out like, what the heck is this, with showing all the TikTok stuff. And he was saying, he was like, Shrek has been known to do things where they use kind of like how Family Guy is, where they like use like
pop
current
culture,
trends and stuff like that
from the first movie up until the
current like trends and stuff like that, and they just kind of put it in more of a medieval type of like aspect. So
like they had like the weed in Shrek 2. They had like
bro, the pepper spray John had me dead.
Yeah.
Just even the pepper right in his eyes, bro. I was like, yo, nobody would know that as a kid, but yeah.
Or like the cops angles when they were getting arrested and shit. Like they've done weird stuff like that before. That's nothing new.
Yeah, or use like the fast food stuff.
Yeah.
Like, all that type of thing.
Or like the Disney World shit, like
Mhm.
just being like all that. So that's not new. Like if you're complaining about that, you never watched Shrek to begin with.
Yeah.
But what I was trying to say initially before I said like I'm gonna go see it regardless, I don't know if you've ever seen it before, but there's footage of like what Shrek was supposed to look like
Oh yeah.
early or like before we even saw it, and it looks like similar to that. It looks more similar to like the pre-drawings of Shrek compared to like now.
Yeah.
So that's where my mind went when I first saw the trailer. I was like, oh, like they're kind of like touching on that, but like why? Like that was never released for a reason. Just stick to the one that we know.
And my thing is like I don't know if they ever have any pull in it, but it's like come on, like Mike Myers,
Oh, the actor,
Eddie Murphy, Cameron Diaz, like
you just want a
there's
bag,
no,
bro.
but it's like I don't know, man. Like I guess it's just me again not being in that setting, me not having this.
You have a passion for it, Mark. They do not.
But that's why it's so crazy because I'm like, man, is this what it's like to be like famous or rich and just be like having this come in for you so much that you're just like, oh well? Because like I'm like, man, if you told me that the only project I would work on with me being famous is Shrek, like, bro, I put my life into that. Bro, I would be like, bro, I'll be in there helping the writers. I'll be in the back helping the editors. Like, just even if I had no good information or input, just as I'll be there. I'd be like, yeah, so that was a cool edit, man.
Yeah,
just encourage them because I'll be like, yo, whatever, man. And I'm just like, bro, as the main cast, like I would love to just be like, bro, no, this isn't what we've worked on for this many years.
There needs to be one person on like anytime that there's like a long-standing franchise or like
one, yeah, I know what you're gonna say, yeah.
Like any long franchise or something that has like already like a fan base. Like if you're doing any adaptation, hire one super fan to be in the room.
It's the guy with like a Shrek shirt on.
Bro, yes, but you need that
fully
like
green.
You need somebody who's like speaks for the fans. For it to be like a success. Like with all these like how many times we've seen like adaptations of animes, movies, video games, whatever, and they just like, oh, we just decided to take a different direction. It's like, no, the source material was right there. You got 4 Shrek movies to go off of. Why are you going away from that?
And that's the thing, because like, don't get me wrong, I think Shrek 3 feels like where it should have stopped.
Yeah.
Do you think that, right?
Yes, but then people were like, for sure 4. Like for 4 was pushing it.
Yeah. 4, that's what I'm saying. Like 4 was like, it was the one with Rumpelstiltskin, and I was like,
and what is Forever After? What was?
Isn't that it? 4?
No, you just said 3. What was 3?
3 was I think the kids, wasn't it? Or that was, I feel like no, because 1 was them, 2.
I tried to look up. I tried to look up the concept art. That's not what I remembered. I feel like there's a different photo out there that I'm missing.
That's insane.
I need to look.
Wow, now we're showing it. We are really. It's just we see them so much. It just seems like they're all just happening.
Yeah. So this was after like, because in the second one,
3 was with the kid, the prince.
Is that not 2? That was 2.
No, that wasn't. Oh yes, it was, because 2 was what? No,
3 is already 3 is the one with the pepper spray.
Yeah. Okay, yeah, because 2 though
2 they're meeting Fiona's parents,
and 2 is with the fairy godmother. Yes, 2 is the fairy.
And then
godmother.
4 was Rumpelstiltskin.
Yeah, 4 is Rumpelstiltskin.
And you know what?
That's the one where the bulls like do the roar.
Yes.
Yep.
And then he's like famous. Like I think that should have been. I feel like 4.
I don't really remember that movie either. I think I've watched it maybe once or twice.
Yeah, so like I've seen it recently a couple times on TV. It's decent. Like I'll take it.
Yeah,
like,
yeah. It
3
has.
would have been a great way to end.
For sure, yeah.
4 I love because the Rumpelstiltskin stuff, like the plot, whatever.
Because it felt like at 3 the story was done. Like you realize Shrek doesn't want to be king.
They found the king.
If you haven't seen it, crazy.
And it's been like 18 years or something like that.
But yeah, he doesn't want to be king. You find another king. He realizes, I just want to be laid back with my woman
and my kids.
And you're like, okay, cool. 4 was just like, okay, you're making this man come out of like almost retirement. That's why it felt weird. It was like you're trying to find another problem that he doesn't need to be involved in.
And he like he was tired of being like famous essentially. Yeah. And Rumpelstiltskin was like, I can.
Didn't they have like the Piper with the what's his name?
Pied Piper.
No, he like controls like the mice. He's a fairy tale person. He
Okay.
like plays the flute and he like controls them. I just forget his name, but I think he's in that too. He's like a part of it or something.
But yeah, Rumpelstiltskin's like I can make everybody like forget you technically, and like you won't have to be famous anymore for being an ogre. You don't have to do the roar or any of that. But then when they did that, they're like everybody forgot him. So he lost Fiona, he lost everything, and then that's when Fiona's like a warrior. She like because nobody came to save her. So she was like fighting with. She had like this family of ogres that she was like living with.
Wasn't there like a geese in there too? Like
I think so, maybe
something with like the golden.
Yes, the golden goose lays the egg.
I'm telling you, I remember that movie in so many little parts.
But then he goes in to fight Rumpelstiltskin with like the ogres because like he's trying to make Fiona
more ogres.
Yeah, it was like a family of ogres that Fiona was living with because nobody came to save her, so she became like an ogre at night.
Wow.
And then they're going to go like fight. So Shrek is trying to get Fiona to fall back in love with him, and she's focused on fighting. She's like, I don't protect my ogre fan.
Yeah.
And then my favorite part that I remember that I'm like, yo, like low key, I fuck with this movie is when they about to go fight, and then they had this one bull that was like in the army with them, but he was like the chef, and then they were like planning out the plan. They had a map out. And there's like a little stand there, and I forget the guy's name, but Fiona's like, what is that? And she's like, that's my chimichanga stand.
Oh, I think I remember. Yeah,
she's like, trust me, Fiona, you're going to be really hungry after this raid.
I think I remember that, yeah.
But
okay.
But three was probably like, that was the perfect way to stop. Exactly. 4 was forcing it, but I was like, it's Shrek, so I'll take it.
True. And
I don't know what's about to happen with 5.
And 5 is like, it's like, again, I don't know what the real, like, plot will be from it. Of course, it's a fairy. That's the thing that I think was really cool about Shrek, right? It's in a fairy tale world, so it's like you can go off of anything. You can mix in a lot of stuff. It's really cool to see how they adapt the comedy of Shrek and put other fairy tale creatures into that. So that's what I kind of love about Shrek. But again, like if you're forcing this main character who really from the beginning just wants to be in his swamp, you're taking him out. You're just like, bro, what are you doing to him?
Well, now Zendaya's in it, so she's gonna be most likely play a big part in it. She's like a teenager in a sense, so somebody was guessing like somebody's like, let me guess, like she's like, Dad, when are you gonna let me leave the swamp? Or she's gonna fall in love with a human, and then they're gonna argue. They're gonna argue or something, and then somebody's like, Fiona's gonna be like, Shrek, just talk to her, and there's gonna be this whole thing. She's gonna get taken away by somebody who doesn't like ogres or something.
Know it'd be this hard to be a dad.
And doesn't he have like 3 kids though? Who's gonna be?
I was confused because when I just saw her, I was like, weren't they all born at the same time?
Either hasn't been casted or they're nobody like.
Or I think it's gonna be a story where it's like they went away somewhere else.
They're at college or some shit, but she's like the one that like is a free spirit that doesn't want to go to Shrek College or Ogre College.
Shrek College, imagine. They just took the franchise. Shrek College.
She doesn't want to go to school, or like she doesn't want to like be a typical people who are afraid of ogre. Yeah. Or she doesn't want to be scary. She wants to be pretty and like being an ogre. But everybody's like, oh, you have to be scary.
True, yeah, something like that. I don't know.
Or maybe they do some reverse shit where like she, like the whole like Fiona had the whole like at night thing. She becomes an ogre. Yeah. Maybe she's like all insecure about being an ogre. She hates being an ogre because everybody's scared of her. She finds some fairy tale creature villain.
Human instead.
Turns her human.
Yeah.
But
that's
like
what I thought.
some conflict comes about.
Of course.
And then that's the whole film.
With magic, there's always.
You're welcome, DreamWorks.
They're like,
if they already,
they're like, dang it.
No, bro, that's Shrek 6.
Dang it, he's on to us.
Yeah. Same thing. I have not seen Toy Story 5 or 4. Which one's the one with the spoon? I haven't seen it.
I think is with the spoon.
And they're making a 5. And I'm like, I'm good on all. Like, yo, Toy Story was my shit. Like, I love Toy Story with a passion. Y'all are milking my childhood to the ground, bro. Like, leave it alone.
Yeah, and the thing that I also was like talking about with Shrek was I was just like, man, like when was the last one released? Because bro, this been a minute since between 4 and now.
It's been like 10 years.
Yeah, and I'm just like, why did y'all wait so long to do this? Like,
bro,
what was the distance? What was the time frame from 1 and 2 and 3? I remember we looked up 3, and I think 3 came out in 2012. I think
the third one. 07.
Third one was 07?
Yeah.
So and then the fourth one was 2012, right?
2010.
Oh, it was 10. Okay. I knew it was it was like 2 years off or something.
So then 2 was in 04.
So wait, 1 was 3?
07.
07.
So each one has been 3 years apart.
3 years apart, yeah.
So 01, 04, 07, and 2010. And now 2025. 15 years later.
Like, what?
It's the time of reboots, bro. Like, they just anything.
Yeah.
Bro, we're getting a Lilo and Stitch live action in May.
I know.
I'm gonna be there though. I can't lie to you.
Because I think that was well overdue, and I think
he looks good. Like they made sure.
Yeah.
I can't lie.
Yeah, I ain't gonna lie. When I saw the John in the Super Bowl drill, I was a little geeked inside. So a little, boy Mark was a little hype.
That bro, the Michael Jackson movie, bro. That's like I'm
upset that they like pushed it back.
It's like December, right, or something.
Yeah, like that. They were gonna do it. I think April of this year, and they like pushed it.
That's
back.
where my head was at, and I checked the other day, and I saw like December. I was pissed.
Yeah,
I'm ready for it.
No, yeah, that's crap. What was I gonna say? Oh yeah, because I was actually listening to podcast Shits and Gigs, and James was talking about how like, because they were also talking about like just like series. Like any type of movie franchise or show franchise, I guess, that has series and like why we see them a lot. And the idea of it is that there's this thing, it's not like a law obviously or something like that, but like usually like film companies and stuff like that don't like to take, I guess, new movies.
No, they won't. This is a recurring thing where it's like they don't want to take chances. They rather put money into something that already has a fan base.
Yeah,
which is why you see Minecraft movie, Five Nights at Freddy's. You see like Shrek and Incredibles, and there's an Incredibles 3 coming out. There's like all these things that like instead of just taking a chance on something new, they rather just reboot or re-release or like because it's reimagine something already done.
Too much money that could be lost. And I'm just like. But what irks me is that then they make a new movie, they see how great it is, and it's just like
there's been new concepts that come out. They've done fine.
Recent stuff has come out, whether if it is like an animated thing or like an actual just realistic thing. It's like, bro, come on, it can't be that hard. I mean, like I get it, you don't want to like recreate something, but let's be real, as humans, this is as good as it's gonna get as far as creativity. Sometimes I feel like we're gonna be there for the cheesy stuff no matter what. We're gonna see that stuff. Like as long as it's not overdone with it, I think we'll be fine. Like I don't know,
it's the same thing with like we saw like That's So Raven get a reboot, iCarly get a reboot, Zoe 101 got a reboot, Boy Meets World.
Things is like
but it's like it's easier to do that and be like, oh, nostalgia, we're bringing back these old characters that are like way too old for their roles,
and then see the ratings go down, see it end within one season, and you're wondering what went wrong.
Exactly. So it's just they'd rather go that route instead of come out with a whole new idea.
Jurassic Parks. Like,
but then you see a movie like studios like A24.
Yeah.
They're like all over. Like I don't think they barely have any sequels. If anything, it's more so like they're movies within a universe in a sense. Some of them, but they still like do amazingly, and they're like fresh ideas a lot of the time. So it's like, how hard is it to do that? And they're not. I don't think they have the insane level budget that like a lot of other studios have. We have Avengers is still like, for whatever reason, they're still releasing movies, and I blame freaking the consumer more than anything. Because why are you guys going out to see this stuff? Like, what was it? The Captain America with the Red Hulk shit. I don't remember the full title. Did you see that? There was like a movie theater, I think in somewhere on the West Coast. It was like Colorado or somewhere like that. That the ceiling in the theater collapsed while they were screening that. What is it? Captain America? It's the movie. That's a Captain America movie.
Yeah.
So the entire ceiling collapsed, but there was no one hurt because only like one or two people were in the theater seeing the movie.
They're just like, oh, is this part of it?
Yeah. The 3D going stupid.
I'm choking on the dust.
But yeah, it'd be so much better to see just original ideas for once. Oh my gosh. Go ahead.
No, I was just going to say, like, for the Marvel stuff, it's like the idea of it is just, again, you can milk as many movies as possible with that franchise just because you have the comic books. So it's like, as long as you have that story,
the fan base,
and you're just going to be like, okay, we can put it in real life for you rather than you reading it. Here it is in picture form or visual form. So that's the only thing. And it sucks, because like it's getting to that point where it's like we had a good thing going, but like when you take amazing actors out that we had in the first, I forget, saga, it's like it's hard to really bounce back.
Yeah. But that's another part too, is like I know you need to make money, but also like if you don't have an idea that you think it's gonna make money, don't make the movie. Don't spend the money.
Yeah, you know what it is too? I think it's really just the higher ups, and people are just breathing down the
just being greedy,
being like, well, I don't care. make
You
it.
need profit.
And I'm pretty sure those people who are making it are just like really sitting there talking to them like, bro, like I personally really don't want to do this because like I know in my heart this isn't our best work. Why are we doing this? But they're
it's turning the fast food kind of shit. Like it's just like pump it out anyway. Like we don't care.
Yeah.
So, and we see it across like other industries. Like video games is the same shit where it's like they just like, oh, just release it anyway, even if it's not finished, F it. And then a couple months later they shut down the servers and then it's like a lost thing. Like
or there's just so many like bugs with it. Yeah, it's just like
or it takes years for it to catch up and then the player base dies because like, yo, I just paid $70 for this. Yeah, and I gotta wait 2 or 3 years for it to work. And then you expect me to like, no, like I'm like the hype is down. I don't want to go back into it. I don't feel like playing Cyberpunk even though it came out 5 years ago.
Yeah, even
if it is a great game now.
That's true. Yeah,
but what can you do? What I went when I was like, oh, we're about to close out because we've been going almost 40 minutes now. But what I wanted to talk about, but I think it needs its own episode. I don't know if you've seen it, but they announced the new Avatar series.
I think I saw some. Yeah.
You've seen the original series, right?
Like
Last Airbender? Yeah. Like the whole thing?
Yeah.
You haven't seen Legend of Korra, right?
I've seen like some episodes. I know there's a whole thing with like bloodbending.
Yeah, I mean bloodbending got introduced in the first one, but then for the first season of Legend of Korra, there was like a big part in it. Bloodbending. Yeah.
That was like the only thing I remember like that was really crazy to me.
Yeah. It's on Netflix, I think, still. If you want to watch it, I think is like decent. People
say it's good.
It's not the first one, but still like it's worth watching. Like I love that whole universe as a whole, so I enjoyed it. I have my own complaints. I'm not gonna like
no
throw them on you right now.
From one thing too, I remember hearing is just that like compared to the original, it's like Legend of Korra is very more like serious compared to, because I feel like Aang, it was like yeah you serious parts, but like no matter what, whenever there was like any side time, there was like
they were still 12-year-olds.
Yeah, so there was tons of jokes, tons of playing around. This is just like like teenager or like young adult kind of just like going through it and like constantly like annoyed, mad, going through emotions. Like there was a lot of stuff I heard about that. Yeah.
So if you end up watching it, go for it, please. I'm not gonna bore you with my like stuff because you're not gonna know what I'm talking about. But it came out like what the premise of the story is. They didn't release too much.
Isn't it supposed to be an earthbender now, I guess?
Yes, that's next in the cycle. Yeah. So it's like air, water, earth, fire.
Fire would be tough.
Yeah, which I think they're coming out with like farther down the line though. But yeah, so that got announced. They said what the premise of the show is. You're not gonna know why it's a big issue because you haven't watched Korra, but like people are like, see, like Korra sucks because of this. Like read the preface of like what happens. So there's been a lot of debate on the internet about it, and people have the worst freaking takes ever, bro, and they go viral for it, and I hate it because you didn't watch the show. Like you're just ignoring facts, so it pisses me off. I wish you watched it so I could like we could do an hour.
Hey, let's do this next episode. I'll start
4 seasons, bro.
Huh?
Just 4 seasons.
Bro, I'll binge that, John. Trust me. I've been really recently getting into like starting to watch more anime now again. Like I'm watching Tower of God. I'm watching I think it's called Overlord. I'm just watching a bunch of stuff right now because I'm just like I want to get more into watching anime again. So don't worry, trust me. I'll take some time to watch that. So
all right.
We can just kind of like as I'm watching it, I'll tell you what I've seen, and then hopefully we can like get to
So if you're really gonna do this, I'm gonna preface this and then we'll leave. Okay. So Legend of Korra came out, right? I watched it like last year, the year before.
Okay, so like,
because I didn't watch it like as it was releasing.
Yeah.
Because I think about this the other day when people were having this conversation. When it was coming out, they like mishandled the hell out of it because it was one point where it was available on TV, and then they were like, oh, it's only available on Nickelodeon.com. Like it was like it was before streaming, but it was like they were kind of like ahead of the times with it, but they were doing it that way. But like it wasn't popular yet, so I was like, I can't watch it, so I'm not gonna. I don't have a computer. So that was weird. Then also, they initially were told that it was only gonna be 1 season, right? Ended up being 4. So the original writers, they were like, all right, cool. We have this 1 season. We have to basically a complete story from start to finish in this 1 season. Then towards the end of that season, they were like, oh, just kidding, 1 more season. So they had to finish that and then write the next one and rush it. And they continued to do that until the finale. So every time they're doing a season, they're like, yo, like this is it. and then at the very end they're like, just kidding, new season. So if it feels all over the place, that's why. Because they were initially like, all right, it's gonna end right here.
Oh, okay.
So I'm just preparing you for that before you go into it.
Okay. Nice. All right. Yeah. Down. Okay.
Yeah.
Before I go out of here, I also want to say that show that I've been watching, not animated at all. It's a realistic show.
Succession?
No.
Okay.
Severance.
Severance. That's what I meant. Everybody's all over that.
Well, yeah. Bro, love that show. That show is awesome. It gives me very much Backrooms vibes. Yeah. It's really cool.
Everybody in my job is like, oh, you got to watch it.
Yeah. I love it. It's a good show. Me and I've been watching it. Yeah, it's just one of those shows where I think it's like very different. I like Adam Scott as an actor in there too. He's really cool. But yeah, it's a very cool show, and it has some funny bits in it too. And it's like it keeps you at the edge of your seats. Every
it finished,
episode,
right? Or is it?
No, it's still going on actually right now. Yeah, every Friday they're releasing an episode for season 2. We had caught up though. We just watched it yesterday. Last episode was like it was a more informational episode rather than like you're getting a lot out of it. But yeah, now we gotta wait a week.
Yeah,
but yeah,
everybody, that's the hot show right now.
Yeah, right now I'm loving it too. And I watched it though, not knowing, like I knew season 2 was out, but I didn't know it was like everybody was like, yo, like this show is really good. So watching it, I'm getting hyped like, yo, this show is really good. And then I see on the internet, I'm like, oh, everybody is actually also saying it's good too. But I didn't realize that. So yeah, now I'm in the bandwagon with it right now. But yeah, I'll get on Legend of Korra though. I will watch that.
I don't know how many episodes is it per season. I forget, but
they're probably all different. Yeah.
You should be able to watch it. Yeah. So yeah, just keep that in mind.
Mm-hmm. Got you.
That way because for me, I didn't know that till I finished it. Because I was like, yo, like some things are rushed, some things aren't, and then you hear that, and I'm like, I don't blame them, you know.
Okay.
And then also keep that in mind with like how you feel about the characters.
Okay.
Because they were thinking this was gonna be it, and then they have to like scramble last minute. But
got you. Okay.
Overall, it doesn't compare to the original, but it's good enough for me. We're out of here, guys. Okay, we appreciate you guys for sticking around for 43 minutes of us talking. Anything we'll say before we get out of here, Mark?
Nah, be safe out there. Watch some TV. Let us know what you feel about Shrek. And we have our opinions. Yeah.
And Avatar.
Yep.
And Severance.
Yeah.
And that one too. And that's it. We love you guys. We'll see you next week. Bye.
Peace out.